Hey everyone, it's time for After the Story with Nancy Jackson. Wow, what a scene this is, packed with so much emotion and questions, some answered and some not. First, we see Sharon revisit the pain of baby Evan as she pulls out the tiny stocking she had made for him so many years ago, another object that when revisited brought pain. This would be the first Christmas since then that Sharon had a reason to truly celebrate the holiday. Yes, Christmas is fun, but with children, it truly has a joyful purpose. Sharon has no idea what Christmas had been like for Molly Sue. She does find out that indeed they did celebrate the holiday. We do see, though, that Molly Sue did not know what Santa was, and the man in the bright red suit was a surprising novelty to her. When Sharon explained that he brought children gifts on Christmas Eve, Molly Sue knows instantly what she will ask for: her mommy. Of course, Sharon is embarrassed, but also assaulted with her blatant hope that Molly Sue would be hers forever. She is confronted with a true struggle here. She has grown to genuinely love Molly Sue in the only way she knows. But is her genuine love still a very selfish love? Can the two coexist? She knows that to hope her mother does not return is not truly loving Molly Sue. That is what the girl wants and needs, and for Sharon to hope for something different is hoping against the girl's best interest and is not love. And she knows this in her heart. I had to put the little Charlie Brown moment in there with the small, straggly tree, but we may yet see the real reason this is the tree Molly Sue selects. But the real surprise in this section is when Sharon drives by a life-size nativity scene and Molly Sue nearly hyperventilates to get out of the car. She immediately starts yelling for baby Jesus. She knows what the nativity scene is, unlike Santa. When the car stops and she gets out, her approach is slow and reverent. Her little mouth is formed in an O of awe. It is evident that baby Jesus is just a doll, but not to Molly Sue. To her, he is baby Jesus, and she reveres him. She prays and becomes exactingly confident that baby Jesus will bring her mother back to her and will take care of her in the meantime. Sharon is shell-shocked. She doesn't know how to respond to Molly Sue's actions and confidence. Once again, she is thrust into dealing with her conflicting desire regarding Molly Sue. At home, she is distracted by decorating the tree. And as she is watching Molly Sue design, decorate, and create the angel, she sits once again curious about her upbringing. The angel is done far beyond what a normal 5-year-old usually does, which means she has spent an abundant amount of time coloring and creating. Then, instead of using the scissors to cut it out, she skillfully and painstakingly tears the angel out in tiny little rips. Sharon is confused and in awe at the same time. Once the tree is decorated, we see Sharon retreat from a tumultuous and emotional day. Her retreat is to alcohol. It is a habit she has practiced for years, and as the book says, the only thing she knows that can mask the pain. She ruminates on how confidently Molly Sue prayed to a baby Jesus, and how she had once prayed and that prayer had seemingly been denied. Sharon had prayed for a child and it had been taken away, and so on. Her confidence in prayer had diminished and she had grown hardened and cold. She had shut the idea of God out of her life. Alcohol had become her only comfort. Thank you for listening. Be sure and subscribe to this podcast, plus my other podcast, The Story with Nancy Jackson, where you will hear the actual, professionally narrated novel that syncs with After the Story. Link is in the notes.